Today we're going to be talking about 5 tips for wide receivers to never drop a pass and 3 solo catching drills that you can do. I would say 99% of the time when it comes to wide receivers dropping passes, it's because they do not fully look the ball all the way in. So something that you could think of is a trigger phrase that you could have on repeat anytime that you're in t-shirt shorts, anytime that you're working out, to force you to have to look the ball all the way in and see it make contact with your hands. So something that I tell my wide receivers to do is to pretend your eyes are a camera and you were trying to take a photo of the ball. So the ball's thrown high, the ball's thrown low, ball's thrown chest level. Every single time it makes contact with your hands, you're trying to snap a picture of the ball with your eyes. Now, it's not the football and then like these trees over here, the sideline. The only thing in your line of vision is going to be the football. So if you can focus on that and at that catch point, you are fully looking that ball all the way in, that will lead to less drop passes. Now, the second tip for wide receivers to never drop a pass is to focus on looking the ball all the way into the tuck by having another trigger, like I guess you could say call out, right? So what I'll have my wide receivers do is like I'll throw a pass to them, and if they struggle, you know, like let's say we're running like a quick slant over the middle, they break over the middle, they catch this pass, they turn upfield, they may have looked it into their hands, but as they turn upfield, they drop it because they're not seeing the ball into the tuck. What I'll have my wide receivers do is when that ball's thrown to them and they see it and they tuck it away, they have to call out laces or spaces. So if you tuck the ball away and you don't see the laces, you would verbally have to call out, and that holds you accountable to the actual drill. You have to verbally call out spaces, verbally call out laces, and by having you call it out, like I said, that makes you accountable and that forces us to have to watch it into the tuck. And if you have a coach watching you, it lets him know that you're actually looking the ball all the way in. But also, you guys, if you are a wide receiver and you would like to train with us this offseason, we are going to be coming out to 15 different cities across the U.S. for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver camps. Our first camp was this past weekend in San Francisco. That camp was completely sold out. We appreciate everybody who came out, but our next camp is going to be in Miami, Florida. Then we'll be heading out to Las Vegas, Nevada, Charlotte, North Carolina, Portland, Oregon, Dallas, Texas, Nashville, Tennessee, Chicago, Illinois, Buffalo, New York, Houston, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Detroit, Michigan, Boise, Idaho, and Los Angeles, California. So if you guys would like to sign up for that, check out that very first link in the description below. Let's get back to this video. Now, the third thing that wide receivers can focus on to never drop a pass is going to be the correct hand placement. So I'm sure at one point or another, as a wide receiver, you've been taught like, hey, keep your hands in a diamond when the ball is thrown to you. Now, a good like kind of rule of thumb is if the ball is thrown, I would say like belly button or higher, that is when you want to have your thumb and your index connected like this, like diamond shape, if you will, right? Thumb and index connected, you shouldn't have this big gap between your hands. You obviously don't need to be touching your thumb and your index finger, but you want to have like somewhat of a close gap so the ball doesn't go through the middle, but that should be anywhere from the belly button up. I think of it like your hands are on a big clock, and so anywhere from like 3 to 9 o'clock, you want to have your hands in that diamond, and then anywhere below that, you want to flip and have your pinky fingers connected. So if it's a low pass, that will help you receive the ball. One of the common mistakes that wide receivers will make is that ball will be thrown low, they will have their hands in the wrong placement, and they will push the ball down. Anytime that, again, it's below that 3 and 9 o'clock level, you want to have your pinkies connected, watch the ball in, and receive the ball. Then same thing when it's high. Ball's thrown above your chest, you don't want to flip your hands and almost let this ball cross your face. Keep your hands in that diamond. So remember that clock rule when catching every pass. The next tip for wide receivers to never drop a pass is do not let this ball hit your palms and bounce off your palms. So I'm sure all of you have heard the phrase like, oh, you want to have quote unquote soft hands, right? Soft hands means when that ball is thrown to you, you want to catch the football in the webbing of your hands, right? So what that means is like your fingers, obviously not your fingertips, as that's how you're going to jam a finger, but you also don't want to hear this loud noise when the ball hits your palms and you're almost pushing the ball away. That's not having quote unquote soft hands. Now, something that you could do to work on this, and we're going to give you some drills later on in this video that you could do that don't require a quarterback for this, but improving your grip strength, right? If you have a strong grip and you have strong fingers and that ball is thrown, you're going to be more consistent catching the ball in that webbing of your hands and not having to clasp onto it and let it make that loud noise when bouncing off your palm. Now, the next type of catch that we're going to be talking about today that'll help you never drop a pass as a receiver is an over-the-shoulder catch. So I can't film a video on catching a football without talking about this type of pass. So anytime that a quarterback throws you that ball over the shoulder, obviously all the same principles apply. You want to watch this thing in, you want to have that trigger phrase where you're taking a photo of the ball. Obviously, and also fellas, in a live game scenario, you're probably not having all this run through your mind. This is for training. This is for practice. We're trying to build good habits. So in a game, it is automatic. You already know to look the ball in. You already know to look the ball to the tuck because you've repped it out so many times. Now, when that ball's thrown over the shoulder, a tip that I can give you is try to have late hands and trust your eyes. So if I'm running like, let's say it's a deep fade ball, I'm running downfield, I got a defender right on my hip. I don't want that ball to be thrown in the air and I'm I'm showing my hands and raising my hands up. Because when I raise my hands up, that defender knows exactly where the ball is going to be, and he knows where to shoot his hands. In a fade ball scenario, a lot of DB coaches teach nowadays, a more modern way of teaching, is to play the wide receiver, not so much turn your head and try to find the ball. So if you're letting him know where the ball is, he knows exactly where to shoot his hands through. So we want to trust my eyes, and when that ball is thrown over the shoulder, we want to catch this thing chest level. We're going to give you some drills for that as this video goes on, but make sure we trust my eyes, be late with those hands. Also, if that ball is underthrown, that's when you could go back and get it at its highest point. But that ball keeps you in stride, make sure we are late with our hands. Now we're going to get into some great drills that wide receivers can do that do not require a quarterback, that will help you never drop a pass. So remember, we talked about catching the ball in the webbing of my hands, not having those like brick hands, ball bounces off the palm, makes this really loud noise when we make contact with my hands, having soft hands, and that requires grip strength. So this is a simple exercise that you could do pretty much every single day to strengthen your grip. So it's going to be called a fingertip push-up, and pretty much it's exactly how it sounds. You're just going to get down, you're just going to be on your fingertips, and all you're going to do is just a simple push-up. Now I recommend doing this maybe about, I would say, 8 to 10 reps, maybe 3 to 4 sets of this exercise. Now, a lot of you guys are going to feel a lot of pain when you do that because you probably don't have the strongest grip, maybe you're carrying a little bit of weight and it's harder to do a push-up. So what you could do is you could do like a girl style push-up where you're kneeling, you fall down, fingertips, and you will get the same type of benefit out of the exercise. So a fingertip push-up is an easy drill that you can do, does not require a quarterback, that will help your hands. All right, so the second catching drill that wide receivers can do that does not require a quarterback, you need 2 tennis balls and you need a wall. This is a simple drill to help you with your hand-eye coordination, being able to snap your head around out of a break and locate a ball and track this thing all the way in. So what you're going to do, you need this wall, you're going to face the wall, and all you're going to do, and we're going to show you how this drill is going to look full speed in a second, but all you're going to do is you're going to throw this tennis ball, you're going to bounce it off of the wall, but while you do that, your eyes are going to be closed. So your eyes are going to be closed, you throw this off the wall. As soon as you hear it make contact with the wall, and make sure you step back maybe about, I would say, like 5-6 yards from the wall, so it's not coming right back at your face super fast, but we bounce it off the wall, eyes are closed, you hear it bounce, we open up my eyes, and we track this thing and catch it one-handed. I recommend doing maybe about 20 to 30 reps of this with each hand. I'm going to show you how this drill is going to look full speed. The next drill that we're going to be going over to help wide receivers never drop a pass and does not require a quarterback is going to be an over-the-shoulder tennis ball catching drill. So remember, we talked about with over-the-shoulder passes, you don't want to show your hands early, you want to trust your eyes, and you want to be late with your hands to not give the DB time to make a play, right? So this drill is going to help us with that. So you're going to stand with your back up against a wall, maybe about, I would say, like a yard, half a yard away from the wall. You're going to be looking forward, and what you're going to do is you're going to bounce a tennis ball over the top of your head off the wall. Now, as soon as you hear it make contact with the wall, you're going to look up, find the tennis ball, and then track it and catch it with one hand. So the key is to not do this while you're looking up. That is extremely easy. You're not going to get much benefit out of that. Maybe if you're a brand new beginner, you could do that to kind of get a feel for this. You should keep your head forward, bounce it over your head, hear it make contact, look up, and track the ball. So I recommend doing about 20 to 30 reps on each hand. I'm going to show you how this is going to look full speed.